This video is going to go over the molecular machine adenosine triphosphate synthase, or ATP synthase for short. We will cover what ATP synthase is and why it is essential for survival. Your body is made of high-functioning cells that require a constant source of energy to maintain itself. Your cells are composed of various fats, sugars, proteins, DNA, and vitamins. Now, you may be wondering why it's called ATP synthase. The easy answer is because it synthesizes or creates ATP. ATP synthase will play a vital role in the production of ATP and creates usable energy for the cell in a process known as metabolism. Now, we're going to step into a time machine and go back to a time where our ancestors roamed the plains of Africa. After all, this is where humans were thought to have originated. It's a bright and sunny day and the plains of Africa are looking absolutely beautiful. Nothing could spoil this wonderful day until all of a sudden Cheetah, who's been watching them, appears out of the tall grass and begins to chase them down. Your ancestors begin to run away from this cheetah, but they are tired, depleted of cellular ATP, and slowly collapse. So now let's examine why your ancestor died and why the cheetah made sure your ancestor didn't cheat death. The fats and sugars that come from the food we consume are broken down through a series of steps by glycolysis and the Krebs cycle to produce ATP. These processes produce a molecule known as NADH, also known as electron carrier, because of its capacity to take electrons from one molecule and transfer them to someplace else. So NADH passes its electrons through the electron transport chain. By using the energy made available from transferring electrons, protons, otherwise known as the hydrogen atom, that are positively charged, are pumped across the mitochondrial membrane. This creates what is known as a gradient, where one side of the membrane has a much larger concentration of protons relative to the other side. This concentration gradient is utilized by ATP synthase to create ATP. By using the transferring of protons from a high concentration side to the low concentration side, energy can be stored in the ATP molecules. Now back to what had occurred between your ancestor and the cheetah. Your ancestor had collapsed because they were walking around in the heat all day and not able to create ATP efficiently. Because your ancestor was low on ATP, their body shut down in order to conserve the remaining energy it had so it can begin to repair itself. And unfortunately, the cheetah had been stalking them all day and could see that the ancestor was getting tired and took advantage of the situation. So now let's recap. As these two GIFs show, ATP is synthesized by a protein known as ATP synthase, which uses a proton gradient to create the ATP molecule. When you run out of ATP, you could feel tired or weak. Sometimes people are born with issues in their ATP synthase genes and can suffer from neurological issues, heart issues, and muscle weakness. That's because those three things require the most ATP in your body. And now you know how ATP synthase works and functions. Thanks for watching.